What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It's match preview time. Head of a to say a huge game is an understatement. I think that's putting it lightly. Listen, 3 points tomorrow. It means there's, even though Ipswich are in the driving seat, I feel like it kind of puts 1 foot in the Premier League. Just one. Ipswich can still cut it off, but I still feel it will give us 1 foot in the Prem. But we got to get the job done tomorrow. And listen, Gavin, what's on the menu, KG? Victory is on the menu. Okay. Now, I'm saying that because I'm going into this game in real good spirits. I don't know why. And I hope this doesn't come back to bite me. I don't think it's going to be easy tomorrow, but I just feel like with everything on the line, with what Daniel Farke was saying today, I feel like we should do this. I feel like we should do this. But listen, before I get into it, you know the drill, people. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share the video, and of course, drop your comments and score predictions below. And listen, maybe I'm not overconfident. Let me just make that clear because this is still squeaky bum time. I just feel like we're gonna have too much for QPR. Hey, listen, we made a fool of before. Let it happen another time, yeah. Chris King here. Imagine the humble pie he will have to eat if Joseph starts and dominates like we know he will. All right, listen, let's get into this because we shouldn't be too long today. Daniel Farke, his press conference today was more like a siege mentality, and that's something else that I like to play into in terms of when managers, it's more like us against the world kind of thing. I do like that. As you guys know, I'm a big Jose Mourinho fan, and he's big into that, and it's worked for him in the past. Not saying Daniel Farke is Jose, but he was coming into this press conference today, just more talking about. There was a lot of it, which I'm going to have to skip. Was about the scheduling. He wasn't pleased with that. It was more to do with Ipswich's games are only moved because of Coventry's cup run, as of moved for other circumstances meaning Sky Sports. I think we all know what he's trying to imply there. So he's more saying that that the schedule could have been kinder, but he also did acknowledge that Ipswich don't have it easy either, playing 3 times before we play our final game too. So he didn't just put it all in like it's poor us. He does acknowledge there's other reasons for moving, but he's just saying that ours were more beneficial for Sky TV, shall we say, if we read in between the lines. Nigel D saying, afternoon, KG. Bamford on the bench then, unless it's smoke and mirrors from Farke. It could be. Look, he said here, and I'm reading this from Popey's tweet, who summed it up. Patrick Bamford is a major doubt with a bruised knee for tomorrow night's trip to QPR. United are already without injured duo right back Connor Roberts and winger Dan James, Roden and Byron. Okay, so yeah, everyone but Connor Roberts and maybe Patrick Bamford. I do think there could be a bit of gamesmanship in it, maybe, but I think worst comes to worst, Bamford will be on the bench. And look, Bamford had a real good outing. Go back to my match reaction. I'll give him credit where it's due when he actually plays well, and he actually did play well. Everything that people usually say about him in terms of holding up the ball and linking the play, that was actually present against Middlesbrough. He actually did that in that game. And I think he was thriving off the Middlesbrough hate as well. And I love that. I've told you before, all the players that I know, every single one of them, love it when you boo them. So when the crowd thinks they're getting under the player's skin, when they're booing them, players love it. It just makes them want to do it more. It makes them want to score more, makes them want to win more every single time. Every player that I know anyway. But yeah, Bamford was really good in that game. But this does then, if he is a major doubt, and if the bruised knee isn't healed by the time this game kicks off, Daniel Farke did say that if it was played on Saturday, it very well could be. So there's the margins you're talking about in terms of, as he keeps saying, the load of the players, or pause. But if Patrick Bamford isn't available for this one, it has to be Mateo Joseph. Like, it just has to be. And you guys know I'm not a Joel Perot, hater. I'm not one of those people that just hate every time he's on the pitch. But Joel Perot is not playing the way that I think that he would like to. I think his confidence is gone because he's got no belief from the manager and from the crowd alike. I think it goes hand in hand. And he knows whenever he misses a chance, the crowd like, oh, this guy again. But I think with Mateo Joseph, who doesn't have any of those mental blocks, he's hungry. The fact that this game could be 1 foot into the Premier League, potentially, I think Joseph thrives off that kind of pressure. I think he loves that. And also, when I think of QPR, QPR, and I could be proven wrong here, but they don't sit back. They are a possession-based team. Even though they're down the bottom, they still like to have the ball. So if we're going with that and say Steve Cook is the center back, why are we not having Joseph off the shoulder? Listen, Bamford, you did well in the last game, but Joseph gives you another dimension. He gives you clinical finishing. He'll give you pace. He can run off the shoulder with ease and actually get to the ball. There's just nothing in this for me that is a downgrade. You let Somerville, Nonto, and Joseph cook. I'm there. I'm there and I'm feasting. I'm absolutely feasting. Uh Let's have a look. Mr. Anthrope. Mr. Anthrope, have you've been a bit naughty in the comments lately, haven't you? I think it's you. It might not be, but that profile picture looks familiar. Be nice to people, man. Don't be cussing people down for their opinions. Joseph looks a bit down in those post-match clips. Farker will fail on selection again. He'll start Peru. Listen, if he starts Peru, he starts Peru. There's nothing we can do about it now. There really isn't. We can only put our thoughts forward. He is the manager at the end of the day. But if it fails when it comes to end of the season, we'll talk about it then. But I personally, I have no qualms. I've been wanting to put Joseph in for the longest time. When you're talking about struggling in games, he could have been the difference of just running onto something and making something happen. He's that kind of striker. But yeah, look, okay, let me ask in the chat now. Does anyone actually think Joseph will start in this game? If Bamford's not available, I think if Bamford comes through and passes a fitness test, I think Bamford starts. So there's no point discussing it then. But if Bamford is out, does anyone think that Joseph starts out of Peru? T85 saying Joseph has pace as well as pressing, which Peru doesn't have. With all due respect to Peru, well, yeah, pressing is not Joel's game. That's what I mean. I don't understand. As with other people, I don't know why, if we weren't going to use Joel Peru the way that he's been used previously, why we even bought him. And this isn't hindsight talking. This is just common sense. Yes, he's been a top scorer, but surely they would have looked at his game and said, and Daniel Farker would have said, yeah, I can do something with him. All season long, he's been retraining. It literally has been the copy, people, of Rodrigo under Bielsa. It's been a copy where Rodrigo's known for two positions: left wing, inverted winger, and striker, and Bielsa trying to convert him into a central midfielder. It's been the exact same thing, and we don't have that kind of time in this one. Okay, Jalen thinks he might go with Joseph. And listen, he was asked about Joseph, but he answered this one very quickly. I think he's tired of the Joseph recourse, but he said, I trust all my players who I select. So there you go. Oh, man, Tommy, I see Luke Varney in the chat. Oh, you're giving me flashbacks, man. Luke Varney. Oh, Lord. Arson saying, no, Farker's stubborn. Jalen saying Farker seemed to hint at being willing to change more this press conference, discussing the counter, etc. Yeah, listen, we did it against Middlesbrough and it worked to perfection. And I think you have to against a possession-based QPR team who will be going for it as well themselves. H here saying he should, but I can't see it happening yet. Christopher saying Joseph has to start. Peru not good enough. See, that's another thing. He is good enough, but he's not being played. Joel Peru will move in the summer and he will go back to scoring goals again. He will. It's just that he's being asked to do things here that are not natural to him. And he's tried, but I've said this before. You don't get points for trying here. You have to get the job done. Michael here saying might be difficult for Joseph as I expect QPR to play in the low block as they need at least a point to ensure safety. Low block means lack of space for Leeds attackers. I'd be very surprised, Michael. You could be right, actually. You could be right with that, but I find it very difficult to believe QPR will think they're capable of keeping a low block. But even in that sense, then, wouldn't you prefer somebody who can get in between the defenders rather than Joel Perot, who's more front-facing to the defenders? Especially someone like Steve Cook. And I don't mean to be horrible to Steve Cook, but, he's well past his prime. Mateo Joseph is hungry and ready to go. And if you and I was going to say even before this news of Bamford, key for me tomorrow is Somerville and Nonto. Seems pretty obvious, but if them two can keep firing the way they have, QPR will be in all kinds of trouble tomorrow. All kinds. You're adding a Mateo Joseph in there. I like the ingredients, people. I like the ingredients. Michael here saying, I reckon it's Peru if Paddy doesn't make it. Farka predictable all day long. Well, you know what, people, we shall see tomorrow. We shall see what happens. Maybe Bamford, forgets, makes this chat all irrelevant, and he starts tomorrow, and we go from there. But yeah, that is one of the doubts. Just a couple other pieces. It's Daniel Farker on how to play against QPR. It is important to be ourselves on the pitch. We have to be brave and fully convinced and stick to our beliefs. QPR are playing not like a team facing the drop. It's true. They are a possession-based side. You have to be brave to press this side. And he was also asked this as well. If Leeds United win, will Daniel Farke allow some time for celebration despite promotion not being guaranteed? Yes, and he replied, yes, it's important to enjoy the moment a little bit, especially after an unlucky week with results. Never easy to win the momentum back, cannot beat that winning feeling. Exactly. Said that so many times. It's not just at this stage, it's not just talent. Because if it was about talent, this team would have been up by now. When you talk in this division, it's about momentum too. And that's what Leicester have got. That's why, they're already celebrating, and they should. They've deserved it. But we now have to do that. I tell you the only thing. Jalen, him talking about pushing Archie further was interesting. Pressy, yeah, kind of said that Archie went forward a little bit too much in the game, which left us a bit exposed in midfield. So I'm guessing there would have been some kind of teaching, some kind of video work done on that for Archie this week. I think Archie will play in midfield again. And Byram, they've put him in a crowd chamber for the past couple of days. He's been in ice, as Daniel Farke joked today. So I think Gray will be back in midfield. Gavin here, and I'm going to go on to this now. Hull winning last night was a positive. It was. Now, the only thing that gives me pause for concern with that is this, right? We know we play tomorrow, QPR, 8 o'clock, cool. The only thing that worries me, not worries me, but it can be a factor, is Norwich City versus Swansea. Now, if Norwich win this game against Swansea, they're pretty much guaranteed the last playoff spot, because Hull City don't play this game until 8 o'clock in the evening. So we need Swansea to come up with a point at least to make Hull City go into the game against Ipswich with full figure, with making it bright under the lights for Ipswich, and say, listen, we've still got a shot at the playoffs. We're coming to meet you. Now, if Norwich win, it makes it, I think it's a psychological blow to Hull City overall. I don't know how people feel about that, but I do think it's a factor. But yeah, so that it was good that Hull won last night. I agree with that. We just gotta hope now that Swansea can do us a solid, and get a win or a draw. Even a draw would do at this stage. Make it interesting if Hull were to beat Ipswich on the night for going into the last game. Let's have a look. I hope they feel under pressure. I hope I hope they do feel the pressure, regardless of if Hull City don't come out all firing. If Norwich are to win, I do hope that if we get the 3 points tomorrow against QPR, that Ipswich will feel all the pressure going into that nighttime game and stumble. Look, we have to rely on that, people. It's not in our hands. I know I've said about 1 foot being in the Premier League if we win, but that's on the basis that Ipswich don't get 3 wins in a row. So, look, let's see what we're going with there, man. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Yeah, okay, right. So, oh no, Arson here saying, I've got a terrible feeling that Meslier is going to get picked by a QPR forward after 5 minutes of dondering about as he does. Yeah. Yeah, listen, look, I know, I think we're going to win. I don't think it's going to be as clear cut as my voice probably makes it sound like it's going to be, but I do think we're going to win the game tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, and of course, yeah, T85. And if they do lose or draw, it's more in our hands again. Of course it is, yeah, 100%. Yeah, because our goal difference is a game changer straight away. Our goal difference is way superior. And of course, Hull could try and pack Ipswich up with a 8-0 win tomorrow to make it interesting going into the last game of the season if Norwich were to lose or whatever. But yeah, we need Norwich to drop points tomorrow to make that game tomorrow even interesting. But people, let's get into our score predictions. Now, I've got this score in my head and it hasn't left me, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with a 3-2 Leeds United win. I don't think we keep a clean sheet. We'd be lovely if we did. I think we're going to win 3-2. People keep saying this. We just have to win our game. Simple as that. It's not though, because it's in Ipswich's hands. So Ipswich, if they win their games, they're up. And fair play if they do it. But yeah, let's just win our games. That would be nice first. Yeah. 2-1 Leeds. That would be nice. Darren, that would be even nicer. 4-0 win. T85 going 2-0 Leeds. Joseph and GNONTO. Love to see that. Leeds FC going 3-1 win. Nigel going 3-1. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. All right. So 3-1 Leeds. Does anyone think we're going to draw the game? Not seeing any draws. Certainly not seeing any losses. Texas Leeds going for 3-1. Another Somerville double. Yeah, it's on the cards. Cut inside. He's got the Henri move down now, and he's got the Henri move down. Jalen saying his heart can't handle 3-2. We don't do things easily, so that's why I can't go for a clean sheet and a standard win. 2-1, 3-1. Okay, so yeah, everyone's going for a Leeds win so far. Yeah. Yeah. And Darren here will be disgusted if we fail to win. It just makes the Ipswich games have more on them then, doesn't it? We then have to rely on them losing. Never mind drawing. We have to rely on them losing games. And we've already got things in other people's hands. Look at all the gymnastics we're having to do. You know, we're having to think of Norwich's result against Swansea in order for Hull City to be up for a game against Ipswich. You know, we've left it in everyone else's hands but our own. And that's due. Danny Farker even said it himself today as well, people. You know, he said, you know, the last few games up until Middlesbrough were not good. I mean, he did say that there were some unlucky results. I'm not sure which games he was referring to, but he even said himself that the performances weren't good. James here with a deep cut. Jaden Anthony will get a goal. Is that when he comes off the bench in 90 plus 2 minutes or something? Could be. Yeah, 2-0. Yeah, look, everyone's feeling good about this game, which is good to see. But it's up to the team to prove us right in this one. Yeah. Ian, it will be so Leeds for us to lose it 1-0 smash and grab again. I'll be gutted, man. I'll be gutted. I'm going to need you guys to pick me up in the post-match reaction. All right, pick me up. By the way, the post-match reaction link is in the description. If you want to click that, click a like on it, set the reminder so you can join me after the game. And of course, we'll end it on this one, Marcus. We got this, people. We do. Is that Mini Elvis? Yeah, that Mini Melvis. Yeah. And the profile picture, tremendous. Totally agree about the whole game. How convenient for the EFL to change the kickoff time for this game. Oh, I'm not going into those things, but yeah, it does suck that it's not at the same time. But listen, exactly, Ian. Please just Leeds win, just win. Yeah, people, that is the preview. I will be back tomorrow with the match reaction. Hopefully, we're celebrating like one little foot in the Prem, just one, you know. Just a little bit, just a little. But guys, please like the video before you go. Drop your comments below. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, people.